What's up guys? Welcome to Forex Whale Education Channel.
Hello traders, hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is an educational video in which we are going to cover the topic on support and resistance and also trend line. Okay, so for support and resistance, which will be the first topic that I'll cover in this video, is a simplified version as how I understand it. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to explain in the most simplified way so you are able to understand it better. So for support and resistance, I'll just draw this first. Right, so here you go, and then I'll label this as resistance and I'll label this as support. Okay, market will continue to create resistance and support in the charts. So our job is to identify the SNR in the charts. Okay, so resistance is basically an area or a zone or a level that we are looking for a sell opportunity. So at resistance level, we will look for a sell opportunity, and at the support level, we will look for a buy opportunity. So how does a resistance look like? In order for us to identify SNR better, this is my recommendation: switch from candlestick to line chart. Okay, so this is what you're seeing right now is candlestick formation, but I would recommend you to look at it to find your resistance and support using line chart. So for resistance, the market will create something like this. Okay, so this is your resistance. So a resistance will look something like an A. Alright, while your support will look something like a V. Right, so very basic understanding. Resistance will look something like an A. Resistance is a level where we're looking for a sell. Support will look something like a V, and we're looking for a buy opportunity. So the market will continue to create resistance and support in the charts. Okay, something like this. So this is your resistance, this is your support, resistance, and then you have your support, resistance, and so on. Okay, very simple, very straightforward. Okay, so another example of SNR is, okay, price. If candlestick price would normally create something that looks like this. Okay, so if I were to draw this, okay, price goes up and then price goes down, so you have your resistance level here. Okay, that's your resistance level. And then also here, look, price went on a bullish move and then only it went down, so this is your resistance level. Same goes with this. Okay, so this is your resistance, and also this is your resistance level. Okay, so let's just remove the drawings and then look for another SNR somewhere else. Okay, so here is also your resistance level. Okay, so your resistance level, and then you have your support level here. Okay, your support level, and then hence here is also your support level. This is your resistance and this is your support, resistance, and then your support. Okay, so support is where we're looking for a buying opportunity. Resistance is where we're looking for a sell-off. Okay, very simple. So SNR is also divided into two, which is minor and major SNR. Okay, so for minor SNR is what's going to complicate your trades, is what's going to get you confused. Okay, so we are going to avoid identifying minor SNR, but we are going to focus on major SNR. Okay, so how does a major SNR looks like? Okay, so I'll start with how a minor SNR looks like. So a minor SNR will look something like this. Okay, for example, this is a resistance level. Okay, if you see this, okay, you do see a formation of a which represents resistance, but it does not, that resistance does not create a big movement, or the tip of it. Okay, the tip of it, so this is what I call the tip of it. The tip of it is not sharp, so if it's not sharp, then that resistance is most likely a minor SNR. Okay, and it always happens in the chart because that is what's going to confuse you. Okay, there are plentiful of it. For example, here you see all these small ones here. Okay, they represent a resistance level, but it is not strong enough, hence why price did a sell-off, but instead it went all the way up. Okay, so this is the kind of SNR. Okay, this is the resistance, this is the support, RS. Okay, this is minor SNR. We don't want to focus on that kind of a SNR. We just want to focus on SNR that does this. Look, this is a very strong one, so this is a resistance level, this is also a support level. So at this resistance we can look for a sell opportunity. Okay, but small support like this one, okay, like this one, this is an example of a very minor SNR. This is the kind of SNR that we want to avoid. This one as well. Okay, please avoid at all costs. So now that you are able to understand how an SNR looks like, so how do we use that SNR for our trading? Okay, so here we have a chart. So when we see a SNR, for example here, okay, this is a very straightforward example. Okay, so here you do have a resistance, a major resistance, another major resistance, and you see that this major resistance created this strong move to the downside, hence why when price comes back, this would be your sell zone. Okay, so this is your major SNR, and then here's your major resistance, and this is your major support. So usually at the major support we will look for a buy opportunity. So look, when we sell, this is our sell, this is our buy. Sell went all the way down, buy went all the way up. Okay, so this is just very basic, just an introduction to support and resistance. Your job now is to actually train your eyes, sharpen your eyes to identify only major SNR. Okay, remember, avoid minor SNR because that's what's going to confuse you. Okay, also under the topic of SNR, there is RBS and SBR. So we are always looking for opportunity to buy and sell. So we look for opportunity to sell at the resistance, when we also look for opportunity to buy at the support. But because we have no control over the market, price could break through your resistance or your sell zone at any time, and also it can break through your support level where you were actually looking for a buy at any time, because we do not control the market move, but we can only control our risk. So what is the RBS? So again, I would like to say that a resistance and support is bound to be broken after being tested a few times. So that's why there's this setup called the RBS and also SBR. So RBS is called the resistance become support. Okay, so SBR is support becomes resistance. Okay, very simple, very straightforward. So here is an example on how you can trade RBS. So I'll give you an example theoretically before we look into the chart to find a perfect example of a RBS. So this is a RBS, right? So market created a resistance here. Okay, so what's the plan? The plan is when price does a pullback and comes back into this resistance zone, we're gonna take a sell. But what happened instead? price continued the move to the upside, breaking through this resistance. Okay, I'll just redraw this again. Okay, so market created this major resistance here. Okay, so we are looking for a sell-off at that level with the vision that price would go all the way down, but instead price broke through that resistance level, created a new resistance above it. Okay, so the SOP for RBS is that, here's the SOP. Okay, first of all, there will be a breakout. There will be a breakout. Secondly, there's going to be a pullback. PB is pullback, and third is entry. So this is your SOP. So once you see that there is a breakout, so this is the breakout. Once you see a breakout, okay, the first SOP done, right? So price pulls back and comes back at this resistance here, this particular resistance. So when price comes back at that area, you can immediately place your trades. You can immediately place your trades instant here, and then with hopes that price would go all the way up. Okay, so this is RBS setup number 1. Okay, but I would consider this as high. I would consider this as high risk. Okay, because there's no confirmation yet, and there's always that possibility of price breaking through that resistance level. Okay, so this is one way to trade. This is trade number 1, high risk, and I don't really recommend. Okay, the second way is wait for the breakout. Okay, you wait for the breakout and then you wait for the pullback. Okay, so you have the breakout highlighted here, and then you have a support created on the same level as the resistance, here. Okay, so price created that support, so the next time price comes back to that support level, then only you can place your entry, and then boom, price goes all the way up. So your stop loss would be below that new support level that is created on the same level as the resistance. Okay, so if you find it very confusing, you can just rewatch this video over and over again. So this is style number 2, right? So there's style number 3, which is my personal favorite. Okay, style number 3. So price created this new resistance here, right? Price break through this resistance. Okay, price break through this resistance, created a new support on the same level as that resistance, and then price went all the way up only to create a new resistance here. So the new resistance that is created by this support has broken through not just one resistance but 2 resistance. So once price does that pullback, okay, we already have that breakout, we have already got that pullback, so wait till price forms this. Okay, wait till price forms this, and then we place our entry once price comes back into that support level for it to go all the way up. Okay, so this is the theory of RBS. So now let's take a look at the chart. Find an example. Okay, so maybe we can look for an example on the 1 hour time frame or on the 15 minutes time frame. It doesn't matter, as long as you find it, you see it, you can immediately use it. Okay, so maybe this setup is in the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, here you go. Right, so a recap of what we have understood from support and resistance. When we're looking for support and resistance, we're looking only for the ones that created big movement. For example, this resistance created this strong move to the downside. This resistance also created a strong move to the downside. This support, strong move to the upside. Okay, vice versa, same thing over and over again. Okay, so here you can see that price created this resistance here. Okay, price created that resistance there. Right, so we were trying to sell here. Okay, this is our sell zone. Okay, this is the resistance, But what happened? Instead of price pull back to that zone and goes all the way back down, price did a breakout. Price created that breakout here, creating a new resistance that breaks through this previous resistance. Okay, follow me on this. Okay, now price formed a support level which is on the same level as that previous resistance that has been broken. Okay, and then price created a resistance here, and this resistance broke through to resistance level. So once price pulls back, we can place our entry here. Okay, this is a perfect example. Look, price went all the way up. Okay, price went all the way up. So switching back to the candlestick, so this is where we took our entry. This is where we took our entry, and then price went all the way up. Price went all the way up, I think about 60 pips, I guess, around 50 pips. Okay, so this is the first example for RBS. So now let's take a look at an example of SBR. Let's take an example of an SBR. So here you can see that there is this level of support. Okay, this is your support, and then this is your new support. So what you were looking for is a sell-off at this area. You were looking for a buy at this area, but what happened instead? Price did a breakout. Okay, when price does a breakout, you wait for the pullback because there's already the breakout. You wait for the pullback, and then you place your first entry here. Okay, so it went all the way down right until here. So this is the first way to trade SBR. So I'll show you theoretically. This is SBR. Okay, so you saw a support level here. So the SOP is still the same. Okay, breakout, pullback, and then entry. Okay, so you see that there is this breakout here. Okay, and then you saw a pullback. Okay, breakout done, pullback done. So here's your support level, and when price pulls back into that zone, you place your instant entry. Okay, once you place your instant entry, know that first entry is always high risk. Okay, but if it's meant for you, you'll be able to get at least some good pips. Okay, so this is the first way to trade SBR. So what is the second way to trade SBR? Okay, so this is your support that has been broken. So price created a new support here. Okay, and then price created a resistance. So once price does breakout, does pull back and created this resistance level, wait for the pullback, and then place your entry once price is back at that resistance level, only for it to go all the way down. So this is the second way to trade SNR. All right, so what is the third way? Okay, once price does this, okay, once price does this pattern, this resistance level, okay, this resistance level created another move to the downside, and that move is strong enough to create a new support here. Okay, and that new support breaks through this and also this, at least two previous support level. So now price does a pullback, and once price comes and do a pullback at that resistance level, you can place your entry, and then it will go all the way down. So this is the third way. Okay, so you can just rewatch this video and try to make sense of what I presented today in this video. Okay, so now let's take a look at the example of SBR. This is the first example. Okay, so price created this major resistance level, and then we're looking for a buy somewhere around this level, but then price did the breakout. Did price do a pullback? Yes, it did. And then we place our first entry, and then price went all the way down there. Okay, so this is example of SBR, and the first style to trade SBR. Maybe we can look at another pair for SBR. Maybe there's another example of a SBR. Same goes to this. Okay, so you see there's a support level here, support broken, price created a new support, price does its pullback, and then you place your entry here. So this is a example of a first entry SBR. So now your job, once you have understood this SBR, RBS, you know that you should only focus on major SNR. Please make sure to do your back test. Okay, here's another good example of what SNR you should be avoiding. Look at this. Okay, tiny movements that does not create anything like this support level that went all the way up, this support level that went all the way up. Okay, so this is the SNR or the market move that you want to avoid trading, because this is what's gonna not only test your patience but also might make you unprofitable.